What's going on, everyone? Gilman with Live Wealthy back with another video. Today taking a look at Draftkings stock. So it was requested by someone about a week or so ago, but I was pretty busy so I wasn't able to get to it. And then this week they've had some recent events that I kind of want to cover and then see if Draftkings might be a good buy right now. So real quick, if you enjoy these videos, hit the subscribe button. I try to do these type of videos really often, as well as my daily Apple update video. And then like the video as well and comment down below what you think DraftKings looks like, or if you're currently looking at DraftKings or maybe you own some shares or options in it. So wasting no time getting right into it, let's take a look at the 5-day chart because I want to show that the stock has been doing really well over the long term, right? But in just this week alone, we see it went from $64 to trading at $51, right? So that's a huge decline for just a week. If we were to take a look at the year-to-date chart, or actually let's zoom out a little bit. So they went public last summer, so summer 2019 in July. Stock was trading in the 9s, pushed up into pretty close to 20 in the 19s, and then COVID, it went down, and then had a huge run up all the way down from where it was kind of in the 12s to the 40s, so almost more than tripled in price, and then took a little breather and then pushed back up again. So from September 3rd to basically the month of September, it pushed up from the 35s to 64, and then if we look at the 5-day chart, this is the high point that we saw on that, and then now we're kind of making our way down again. So what exactly is happening? So just some things that I want to cover. So for those of you that don't know what Draftkings is, it's an online site that allows you to do fantasy sports, that allows you to do betting. They have a sportsbook feature, all that. So that's kind of real quickly what they do. Feel free to check them out if you want more information on that. But some things to cover. So this is today. Why was Draftkings down? There's a lot of things that go into the valuation of a company, and a lot of that is the future performance or the future outlook of a company. Now, taking a look at this, right, this analyst mentioned that there are certain assumptions that are in place that keeps the stock at its current value, and that's assuming 65% of the US betting is legal by 2025. And a lot of them have given it a target of 55. This particular analyst, Cohen, has given it a target, of 55, and the average price target on DraftKings from Wall Street is $55.07. Now, it did run all the way up to 64, right? And now it's at 51. So 51 to 55, is that big of a run? Not really. Now, that's not to say that the stock can't go higher than what the analysts predicted, right? But it's just, here's what the other professionals are sort of looking at and seeing, and that's always something good to look at. One thing that I always like to do is, if I'm interested in a stock, I just like Googling it, because it'll give me recent news about what the stock has been doing, or if there's future, plans, whether that's good plans in terms of them releasing something or any updates, or bad in the case of, what I found with Draftkings here, and that is they had a stock offering, so when we take a look at right here, sorry, I was just trying to find where it said that. So Draftkings had a stock offering and raised nearly 1.7 billion, which was the reason it was down 6%. So the company ended up selling 32 million shares at $52 each, and that was below the Tuesday closing price of 2 days ago of $56.78. Now, if a company offers shares, typically what it has to do is, to these institutional investors, they have to offer it at a lower price than what it's trading at in the stock market. They can't go to an institutional investor and be like, hey, we want you to buy millions of dollars worth of share at the current stock price, right? No one's really willing to do that. But what it does is, if you sell it at lower than what it's trading for, then the stock tends to push down, as people kind of assume that as being the value of the stock itself. So that caused it to go up a little bit. And then what does the future of Draftkings look like, right? I think personally, right, it's a pretty exciting company in what it's doing with fantasy sports. However, with the stock itself, right, there are a couple of things that concern me. One from a technical analysis perspective, and the second being from just an overall what's going on in the world around us perspective. So taking a look at some of the indicators that, I like to look at, we've got the EMAs 8, 21, 34, 55, 89. If I were to zoom in here, right, for the longest time, these EMAs are stacked, which is great. It's something that you want to see. It shows relative strength as the stock is moving up. However, more recently, with the past 4 days of pullbacks, right, in the first day when it pulled back, it was above the 8 EMA. Tuesday, it broke below the 8 EMA. Wednesday, it ended the day, right? It wasn't a good day for DraftKings, but it ended the day right above the 21 EMA. And today it broke the 21 EMA, right? So this is the 21 EMA. It's at 52.61. If we see here, the close, which will be right there next to the C, was 53.33, so it respected the 21 EMA, but today it broke below that, and the next EMA is at 49.19. Now I'm not saying it goes down to 49.19, but what I'm saying is I personally like seeing stocks bouncing off of the EMA. Multiple times over the course of these dips, what I have been able to do is for stocks like Zoom, Amazon, Apple, right? You can take advantage of them dipping to the EMAs and then bouncing right back off. Great place to, if you're looking to buy, if you're looking to, sell vertical put spreads, stuff like that. But when a stock doesn't, it kind of just breaks through the EMA, that shows relative weakness, right? It's not respecting the EMA, which is happening with DraftKings right now. Another thing that I want to look at is the fact that, for those of you that follow sports, there is a potential for some games getting canceled or postponed, or what happens with the overall season. Now, the NBA had a bubble, right? So everyone went to Orlando, they're living there, they're staying there, they're not allowed to leave, they're playing games. Right now the finals are going on, they're playing, I think, every other day, or this time they have 2 days in the middle, which is great. It works because they're really containing the spread of coronavirus, because no one is allowed to leave, no one's really allowed to come in. It's hard for something to happen in a bubble. It can still happen, not saying it can't happen if someone breaks protocol or whatever, stuff happens. With the NFL though, right, they're not doing anything like that. It's kind of, the stadiums aren't jam-packed, right, but they're still playing, they're still kind of somewhat living a normal life, right? So the chance of people contracting coronavirus is a lot greater than it would be in a bubble. The reason I bring that up is because there are NFL teams. I think I was reading about the Titans. Let's see here. Yeah, so the Titans, Patriots, and Raiders have reported at least one case apiece. Now, kind of pushing that a little bit, right? These players kind of are close together, they practice together, right? And when they're practicing, a lot of times social distancing obviously isn't there, masks aren't there. So if one player has it, it's likely that other players have it, which I think was the case in one of the teams. And if that's the case, then they can't really play the games, right? They can't go out and compete against someone if they have coronavirus, because then they're going to give it to that team, which causes a delay, right? Or it causes postponing of games. I think I was reading something about how they might give a team a win because they're not able to play their opponent. So stuff like that, right? And the reason I bring that up is DraftKings, with being fantasy and betting, their business comes from these games, right? Their business comes from people playing fantasy, playing, NFL, following all that. So if we were to see cancellations, it would definitely impact the DraftKings stock. So my personal opinion, and again, I'm not a financial advisor, you do whatever pleases you, but I would personally wait to see. Right now it's in a downtrend, right? So starting Monday, if I were to just, really, let me get rid of the indicators here, but if I were to draw just a trend line all the way from 64.19 down here, right? We've dropped what? 64 to 50, right? Let me see if, I don't know why it's not giving me the numbers though. There we go. So it's dropped almost 13.56%, or 21%, excuse me. It's dropped almost 21%, $13, 21%, yeah. Which, is not, dropping 20% in a week isn't that great. Now, granted, it did run up just that much, right? I mean, from a price perspective, it's only back to where it was on September 25th. But if it's on a downtrend, right, not saying downturn, if it's a dip and it goes up, great, buy it. But if it's on a downtrend, I would personally wait to see it respecting the EMAs, right? It moving up from the EMAs, bouncing off of the EMAs, not just breaking through EMAs. And then when I see that relative strength kind of pop back, right? So if it were to go down to the 34 EMA 49, bounce up, to me that would potentially be an entry point. But I would personally not go in unless it starts pushing up from here. If it starts pushing up towards the 21 EMA, towards that 52 level, then sure, might be a good time to enter, but I'd personally wait to see what it does when it approaches the EMA. Or if it goes down, personally wait to see if it bounces off of the EMA. And then I would kind of make my decision that way. So hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys found some of this analysis helpful. If you did, subscribe to the channel and let me know if you want me to take a look at some other stock. Now, I personally see or share what I see, but if you see something else, you know, that's totally up to you, your decision where to put your money. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, subscribe, like, comment, and I'll see you guys for our next video. Let's remember to be a bit better every single day, and until next time.